Green flag is out. We are off, and Dalton, a bit of a late start there if you ask me. He didn't even get off the line. Dayton Taylor immediately taking control. Big drive off there for Dayton Taylor as he takes the early lead and the early advantage. Tyler Dalton kind of squeezed in between there as well. As Joe Hudson, number 15, moves his way right into the pack, right into the fray here. Every driver right now just trying to make a jump for it quickly. Samuel Rell in that 43 stays out deep on the outside with Cody Sturgill in the 24 right in the mix as well. On board here with Sturgill right now as we look at him right behind that 43 is Samuel Rell, trying to get a little bit closer into the pack and into the space here, trying to find some opening. Dalton trying to get back in between there and trying to look for another shot in the dark here. I'm not sure exactly, maybe just missed a shift or he did not put it in the right gear. By the way, I know one thing is for sure, that thing did not get off the line. That is not what you want to see. And now, it looks like he's even struggling just to keep up with the draft spots here as here comes the 22. It's the Wild Man now, Wild now moving in. Controlling right through the speeds and right through the gates here. Everyone looking deep into the corners, but it's the 15 Hudson right now trying to stay one step ahead of Samuel Rell. Dayton Taylor looking for a maximum stage points here. Remember, stage points for him, it'll certainly help out his cause in the long haul and the long spots here because he is currently on the very essence of the bottom of the track, of the bottom of the field. He needs a win to lock himself into that championship round, because stage points may still not be enough when all is said and done. Charles Van Schaik, number 23, is on board camera here as you see him patrolling quickly up to the 22 and the number 7 there. That's Wild on the right. That is Sidley in the Heineken, number 7 on the left. The Commander versus the Heineken. Little speeds up boost on that one. I absolutely love saying that word if you couldn't already figure that out by now. Sturgill leading in Dalton now. The Reign of Terror, as he's been nicknamed, is now coming through the field, looking to try to drive his way back into the spots, back into the packs here, a little bit off. Slight contact with the wall here, and that is trouble for Dalton, and he knew it. I believe, too, that's the same corner that ended up costing him a chance to actually win it out in the Truck Series here when he raced on this very same track. He had a lot of problems down there and ended up getting black-footed there into the wall and then ended up sending himself to the Shadow Realm. He does not want to go back there, nor does he want to visit it. And he's trying to keep a good speed and a good distance up, just trying to hang in there. Amberell's onboard camera here, and that number 43, as you see Sturgill just kind of easily whipping his way around, looking at maybe trying to pull up a little bit of speed. I'm kind of limited on my camera system here, guys, so bear with me here. That shift though, they're reeling and route down through, trying to make some moves and make some jumps. Van Schaik, big jump there on the number 7 of Scott Simley. Whips his way right around from to the tunnel turn now and moves his way to the chains. Meanwhile, up front now, the Reign of Terror back on that inside lane, and the number 24 Sturgill trying to force him up a little bit and get by him. Dalton lingering in quick, throws the big one, and now he'll try to get 2 for the price of 1. Perel way tight there coming from turn number 3, and unfortunately that's the turn that's going to end up costing him quite a bit here, really struggling to maintain that distance and control. Back through right now, and currently the 19 now moving it way ahead here of Perel, but only so much. Having some issues kind of rolling his way through the speeds, trying to keep his way through the gaps. Simley right there in that mix too, as everybody just tries to get some speed going, tries to get a little bit of momentum rolling through. So Dayton Taylor, a pretty sizable lead still even too. I mean, he hasn't really left behind that lead, nor has he left behind anything else other than just kind of taking full control of this race here. We'll take a little onboard camera shot with him right now as he currently leads Hudson and Tyler Dalton out by a margin of error there. About 7/10 of a second ahead of Joe Hudson right now. About 2 full seconds ahead of Tyler Dalton. So pretty comfortable. But again, getting comfortable is only a part of the deal. You need to make sure you are ready for the long haul and the long rest, because you never know what might come your way or what might attack you. As I'm currently being attacked by a little kitty cat right now. Yeah, somebody let a cat into the broadcast studio over here where I'm at. I don't know what the heck they were thinking. So if you hear a little purring or a little bit of meowing, that's not me. That's actually a cat. So I apologize in advance, guys. Onboard camera here, Joe Hudson right now, the number 15, as he continues to get a little bit closer up there to Dayton Taylor. And a big thing too, when we talk about it so much, but this is really a big climactic sequence of battles here, is that how long can you stay within a realm of speed and without any merit or issues before somebody starts to kind of patrol up to you, catches you, and gets that obvious big pass that they need to use on you in that drive. That's a big thing right now that Dayton Taylor is currently having to watch out for as Hudson continues to move slowly and slowly through the chains. He's got a little Heinz ketchup on that design too. I'm not totally sure where that came from or where that idea went for, but yeah, I gotta give him credit where credit is due. It's quite a look, and now he's gonna make it look even better. Now he makes his move down the left side there, running him right back on the 45. Dayton Taylor now and him side by side as they battle for the race lead. Swinging the inside lane, and that is the move off. There it is. Dayton Taylor, big jump to the inside, and he got him right off the corner. Hudson realizes his opportunity, takes full control of it. Dayton had nothing he can do about it. I'm not sure. Maybe he was just thinking it was going to be an easier way to get around him, or maybe he was just thinking it's time to play around a little bit. Look at this big bow coming down that front straightaway here. Elongated move off from Dayton. He's going to go head to head here with the 15 as Tyler Dalton gets a little help there from Charles Van Schaik. Oh my. And Dayton swings it right back in the inside lane. Looks like we've got ourselves a battle in Pocono. And you can see how close to that, again, that draft miles, not draft speed, is what's really helping them get that further distance and further pressure along, making everybody have to look a little bit more carefully and a little bit more wise of what they're going to do. Almost got to plan. It's almost like chess. You got to plan it 3 steps ahead and expect your player to do 2 steps ahead of you. You can never, ever think too far out from the ordinary and hope that you can bring it down to the speed. And you can bring all that momentum with it. It certainly helps out quite a bit, and I think that's exactly what you're seeing out of these guys. We are on board with the Reign of Terror. Rolling them right around right now still. It is Dayton, it is Hudson, it is Dalton, your top 3 drivers. Van Schaik, although maybe trying to change that a little bit. Van Schaik decided it's time to make a move off and make a run for it here. Gets right to the inside there. Big move on the 19. Oh boy, has it been something out of the gate here for these drivers. They have not made any mistakes and not let off anything in terms of what they have to do to the tables here as we're on board with the number 7 of Scott Simley. Top 5, man, they've been putting on a show so far. Samuel there and Christoph Hall, by the way, they're not out of this one just yet either. They're pretty smooth right now what they're up to, so I mean that could be something here. Apologies in advance there, folks. Somebody decided to push the wrong button on our end here in the studio. I think we're back. To normal here. Yeah, we're good. Just a little mix up on our end there, unfortunately. Like I said, we're not used to using simracingapps.com, obviously. We've used a little bit of a different thing or two, but we had to adjust. Let's just say that. Part of all the deals in broadcasting, folks. You never get used to it. Or get used to unexpected guests. And again, folks, I apologize in advance if you hear a little purring. That is currently a little cat that wandered into the studio here where I'm at, so I can't really do nothing about them. All I can do is just kind of hope that they eventually decide to call it a night and go to sleep. But the way it's looking right now, I don't think I'm going to get that luxury, so we'll just deal with what we got. Sammy Arell right now currently holding Christoph Hall back a little bit here at the moment. Currently trying to just keep his speed up there. Joe Hudson immediately trying to regain the leading position here as he knows he's running out of time and he's running out of laps before it's too little too late. Dayton Taylor right now looking on the backside here with Charles Van Schaik also having a little bit of a look, looking a little bit of a spot there. Ryan Cook says need a big points day for that 43 and 44. Well, they're going to do it. This is definitely a track they're going to have to kind of figure out. But honestly, I think it's points day is going to be more about win day for them because they're going to need to get a win in the column to enter into that championship run. And Joe Hudson right now, with not needing to win, deciding to basically have a little more fun at everyone else's expense. And this is what he's pretty much doing on them today. Charles Van Schaik now looking on, sees his opportunity, maybe not too far behind him here. Currently out of the playoffs though as well. I'm just kind of surprised that they're running as hard as they are, as quick as they are right now, because again, Hudson's not in it, neither is Van Schaik. Dalton, Simley, Dario, Harrell, Hall, Jackson, Taylor, and Schmitz are the drivers that are trying to become from the round of 8 to the round of 4. But I guess Hudson had other priorities in mind, had other things in his way and in his ideals. And that's exactly what he's putting up today. No, that was not a color commentator host I was talking to there, folks. Although you may think running it down right back in here with only 4 more laps left to go here in this stage. Stage 1 again, landing on lap 20. Right now, Charles Van Schaik looking deep in the corners, looking deep for the runs here, trying to maybe put one on Hudson. Stage points being lost here for Dalton. Not a big deal necessarily. It doesn't matter to him in that case. But still, the idea of being able to at least point your way in and get yourself ready for that championship race, oh boy, does it make a big difference. He knew that too. Back at the Truck Series, ended up having an extremely lucky and absolutely crazy break there as Calatoni ended up costing himself dearly that race with nothing he can do or nothing that he can bring to the table. He's trying not to let that be the same case today. But nevertheless, still the show must go on, as they say, and they must bring it to the table, bring it to the line. Scott Simley now looking a little bit back on the shot, looking a little bit more for the shot here, trying to take his move, make his mark here, and get a little bit closer up into the field. Certainly looking to do that here with this kind of speed. As the number 45 still reeling from the initial battle between him and the 15, starting to fade even further. Simley looking good. Down to the inside, makes a big run. The Heineken trying to outdo the beast, if you will, and trying to show there's more speed in that alcohol drink. I don't know necessarily Dave thinks the same way. He thinks the Monster Beast is the one that should be on top of it all, but that's not the same case in Simley's mind. But Simley now has to face another side of it. What drink will outdo the other? It's a battle of the hard drivers, if you will, and the hard drinkers between Simley and Dayton. They're now moving deep to the inside there with Simley now moving quickly off the track. Simley going up to the top side there. Dayton trying to fight him off, couldn't quite get it to him. Caution out on the track as well now, so the caution is out. Looks like there might be a little bit of a issue there, looks like. Lap 20 was the caution flag here, but I think they're going to call it one lap early here, so not seeing anybody going for a spin there around here on the track or any issues, so it looks like they will kick up the pace, kick up the speeds here. So back them down a little bit, roll them off from the corners. And right now, looks like from my end, Joe Hudson was your stage winner, so stage points now long gone. So Hudson right now, #1 seeded here from the early going, stage 1 belonging to him. So those points out the window. Van Schijk, Dalton looking on. Those are going to have themselves quite a bit of work to do here. Right now, currently, looks like everyone might be getting ready to head to pit road here this next go. They don't want to go in as late as they have to, but they need to get in as much fuel and time as they can for this kind of racing style. What this will do is again, that wear and tear of those tires, the wear and tear of that fuel, it will inevitably strike a chord on these guys and make it a little bit more difficult for them. Looks like Hudson going to give him more time to use up his time on the track. So whatever strategy or plan they may have been thinking to come up with may have just got thrown out the window a little bit more here. I don't think this is what they wanted to see, nor was it what they wanted to deal with here. We'll see what happens as they roll them down into pit road here. And Van Schijk, well, looks like he went pretty much in, then said, I'm out. Pretty much not even a pit stop there for him. Hudson getting his tires, getting his fuel, and getting out of there and getting the heck out of Dodge. Looks like jumping ahead as well. I think that might be Yeah, that was Scott Simley there. So Hudson and Simley, the times keepers there on that one. So that will push them up a little bit and really big into the speeds here. Very interesting to see from here, like where it goes and how it'll kind of deal with their kind of momentum, their kind of controls. Considering again the overall run, the overall power these cars have, and just how temperamental they can be on the rear ends of them. Yeah, I kind of started to wonder, why did they let a stray cat into the studio over here, just like keep coming around just to frustrate or annoy me. I don't know what they were thinking. And Van Schaik, obviously, I kind of figured he'd have to go back to pit road here, knowing him. His strategy isn't exactly go in and get out. It's usually go in and just do whatever he wants, and then you have to go back out and get another pit stop in. So, 1 lap to go. Marker has now been registered here. So, Hudson should have Simley there with them. So Joe Hudson, Scott Simley now ready to roll back to the track here onto the starting line. We are only 20 plus laps into this 96 lap racer at Pocono Raceway. Race fans, thanks so much for tuning on in as well. I know this is probably not your first time ever seeing us on the broadcast, but if it is, we do appreciate and hope showing up and hope you're enjoying at least what we can get you on the table while we're on vacation. Again, this is not our usual setup. This is not usually what we have on the track. So, but a big thank you again to our friends at Global Strategy Team, Jack Racing Collectibles, and Cornhole Coffee for their support. I usually have them kind of rotating out on the bottom right screen of your side here, but kind of had a little bit of a late delay in getting everything situated. And then, of course, with this little stray cat that just kind of wandered into my studio, hasn't been exactly the easiest to work around. So, but nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to roll it down here. Pennsylvania back on their feet, ready to roll off to the track. Green flags dropping down. Hudson leads them. Let's roll it down into stage 2. Well, this time a better start there on the 19. The Reign of Terror finally maybe making a few amends for his other mistakes. And he'll roll it immediately down the inside there of Hudson. Hudson, he knows what he's up to. He's trying to block any kind of little opening he can get to that tunnel turn. But that tunnel turn going to be where everything can go wrong. Big move off there from turn 2. Hudson still leading it down. Simley right in the mix again. And Maurice Burnett, too, the number 8. He's making a little bit of a drive off there, a little bit more of a gap line off that. He's trying to find a little bit of that temper and that pacing here. Even guys like Ron Holyfield having a little bit of company there with fellow drivers at the 44, Christoph Hall in that mix and in that bunch. 15 drivers coming onto the track today trying to bolster up any kind of momentum they can get and show what they've got to the table. And now they all have to face what is undoubtedly probably the toughest of them all in the Reign himself, the Reign of Terror. Truck Series champion, almost Xfinity Series champion, rolling out Cup Series and his game plans and his strategy and his line, doing everything he can to try and show he is still one of those top dogs. Doyle Woods, number 66 as well right now, currently up on the fight. He's got a lot of bark to his his bite. I'll say he can bite just as big as he can bark, so he can definitely show us something too here if he can get the Havoline machine working at top working order. Woods there, deep to the inside. Samuel Rell here, championship contender here, still trying to hold it in there with Christoph Hall as well in the mix. Those two drivers right now currently looking so farther and longer than ever before to make their mark and make their drive off. Maurice Burnett still tries to fight him, doesn't quite get enough there. And the Kodiak number 43 now moves the chains even further in the 44 Old Spice, giving us a little smell goods or two from turn 3. Passes them up, makes the run for it now, trying to get up there closer to the rest of the field. Meanwhile, up ahead, Dayton Taylor, he's hard charging, he's hard pounding, and he's looking to mount the gap up and mount the speeds in a little bit, trying to find his will and trying to find his way. Big move on the inside there, get a big jump there on the 15 of Joe Hudson now, trying to see if maybe he can get something going there, but it was not quite enough. Even Cody Sturgill, seeing that chance and that opportunity, managed to hold him down a few pegs there and hold him in the spotlight. Big move out there is the 15 Hudson right now, keeping his ideas in play and keeping his look on the track. Simley already having to deal with a lot of pressure there, deal with a lot of extra T's and a little bit of extra excitement in between. Hard racing throughout, but Simley needs to stay somewhat in control of this. Dalton right now, your championship favorite, Simley right below him. Cameron Dario not even making the call today, which kind of surprised me a bit there. We're not even seeing him on the show, so that means he'll probably get put below that bubble cut. And that bubble line right now, it's going to shrink even more with Harrell, Hall, and all them fighting for it. Aaron Action Jackson not even with us today. Here and Philip Schmitz pretty much been about as consistent as you can get. It's not necessarily consistently perfect, but I think honestly the best way I can explain it, he's just been there. I don't know how else to put it. Like he's been just kind of slowly but surely moving his way through every race, every little spot. I haven't seen him one time out of all these races just go out there and dominate. It's almost like he's just been pretty much run it smooth, run its course, run its line, and go from there. I really don't know how else to put it. Like, I've never seen a driver just be like that and just be able to do it. Not even what I was doing in those races with the Pit Stall Monday Night Series, or even pushing limits when I was doing that for the championships. I didn't even come close to being that consistent, or much less like just in where the position he'd be and still somehow make a way for the run for the championships, as he's now going to have to see three wide action moving on the front straightaway here. Van Schaik, Wild, and Burnett moving really close into that gap zone. Maurice looked like he got a little too tight there going from turn number 3, and then all of a sudden, well, let's just say everyone else moves the chains. Not only did they move the chains, but they pretty much also just made a point, made a mark on them. Let them know, don't be giving up openings like that and think that they will not be taken. They are not to be taken for granted more than anything. 2.5, almost full second lead on Dayton Taylor, all 2 seconds, if you will, now for Dalton. Gap continues to rise even higher than before, and even more so than usual. As you can see, Dalton, just how far away he is and currently in the pack in that space here. Van Schaik and Wild right now looking carefully through the lanes here, looking to maybe to see if there's an opening or a little bit of a spot to drill him off from. Hasn't quite reared its ugly head yet. Van Schaik Seeing though that more and more, oh, there could be some contact in between there. A little rubbing is racing right from turn number 1. Hudson extremely loose there, lost a lot of a turn, and then all of a sudden he gets a little help from the 43 of Sammy Harrell. Harrell just went driving it right on the marker, right on the spot. He gave him the old kiss of death or the love tap, if you will, and that certainly did not help his cause any. Here comes that number 44, Christoph Hall. He's making a big move here. He's going to try jumping around, looking for a little speed. Wasting absolutely no time into that lane, into that position. Almost not mounting to a perfect little spot, little drive out. Now knows he's going to be right in the mix though, going down side by side here. Harrell currently looking to get there back to Hall. Simley trying to hang in there. That battle for third though, looking obviously more ominous there for the 7 because Simley can't quite get it squared up again. But remember, he still has a good amount of laps left. Still has about 10 laps to go. Or excuse me, 11 laps I should say. Come this next time around to the finish. And through the tunnel turn, looks like a little trouble there for that 43. There's one thing that we've heard all the time from these drivers, and I can explain it too, is that no matter what you do and no matter how hard you work, there is no way around the trickiness of all 3 turns. You can master 2 of them, but you need to be pretty good in that 3rd one. Most will say usually they're pretty good at hitting turn 1 and kind of getting the brakes to slow up and send them down to that high end corner. Some will tell you that in that tunnel turn they've been known to throw a few little haymakers, throw a few little nudges in the corner. All depends on your driving style. And then there are those that, frankly, in my opinion, define the word crazy and find a way to make big moves off from turn 3. We have seen some passes there in turn 3, but again, that's shaped like the Milwaukee Mile corner. Then, of course, turn 2 is the tunnel turn. And then, of course, that big bad boy up there, that's the wide open range. And that is pretty much where you don't want to be at in terms of being in a full throttle speed out duel. Oh, speaking of full throttle duel, they're right on the outside from turn 3. Alan Wild just smacking the wall right off. Car managing to bounce off it like nothing, but that's the same corner that has taken many drivers for a bit of a headache and a bit of a loop there, and that's not something you want to be doing too much of. Joey Woods just getting tripped right up by the 15 of Joe Hudson. Thankfully, I don't have to go to the replay for that one. Joey Woods completely just spun out right there. Hudson winning right in the inside, just threw him off to the shadow realm. He went, oh, nasty little spin there, and Woods is not a happy camper. He'll refire it, but man, I believe for 1 second he's not thinking about that little hiccup. And you know what makes it even harder is that Tyler Dalton, he was pretty much in a good position to kind of just lay off and run it from there. So we're going to double file them up yet again here and roll them out onto the track. Everybody going to have their work cut out for them. This is going to be where things get extremely interesting and see what they can do with the time left on the clock. Stage 2 is not undone yet here. Gonna roll them right off down from the track here, and it is go time right into the green. Here we go. 6 more laps remaining. And almost immediately knowing what's going on right now here, Dalton's trying to fight Dayton Taylor off by not letting him get to him. He knows that draft line is going to be a big cycle move here for him. It's going to really set him up for that corner off. Car wanted to slip out a little bit there. You can hear the rear tires just wanted to deflect out of there as the front try to grip and rip and hang in there for what it's worth. A lot of speed to get through that power, a lot of drive off to hang in there with. Sam Morrell right now kind of right in the mix, kind of shooting off the back there with the 44. Crystal Hall widening the spot there too. They're on board with Hall right now currently, so we'll watch the 43 just keep his distance and probably also looking to try to make his move and his mark. He knows it's close. It's not far from the leaders. And actually, no one. It's far from there. A little bit of trouble there for the 43. Sammy just losing it right off the corner and out of the back he goes. Oh man, that 43 this season just cannot and will not catch a break no matter what he does. Winless in the trucks, winless in the cup. I have no idea about Xfinity, but at least on PTM TV, he's been completely winless. And he told me earlier today, I don't know what else I have to do. I really don't. I'm so done with it. I just need to figure something out. Dalton knows what he needs to figure out, and that's how to get that 45 off his back. Tries to throw the block, and by dropping it down below, away from the draft line. For those that don't know, a draft line is where you basically set up a corner for that speed, for the speed in the back half to move in. Them up a little bit right now. We got 2 more laps need to be completed and roll around here. They're battling hard in the back a little bit too right now. Philip Schmitz here trying to maybe make a little bit of a break for it, get some track position and position there before the pits. The cycle is going to be a very different position here for him and Sammy Rell, because they need every position they can. The strategy is going to be a lot harder to take on for them. Sammy booking it down on the bottom, makes a big run there on that number 24. Cody Sturgill had nothing he can do about it and couldn't really take it to the table. Knew he was looking for it, knew he was going to come with it, but he could not hold it down enough. And caution now out on the track here. The competition caution thrown out yet again here on lap number 42. Or 41, I should say. Supposed to get the 42. I'm not totally sure where the lap counter is, although I'm definitely not used to this as well, so maybe I am completely off. But nevertheless, Tyler Dalton going to take away stage points and now moves himself one step closer to getting what he wants, and that is a trip to Phoenix again. And you may be wondering at home as well, wait a minute, hasn't he already been there before? Well, he was, and he has, but here's the deal. He wants more. He wants that championship. He wants to take it all in stride and all on the table. What better way to do it than to be able to just take down everybody again in another swift swoop. 54 laps will be left when we get back around the line here. What does that mean for the drivers? What will that do for them and their control? It's hard to say. All I can say is it is going to give a lot of issues to these guys, and they know it too. So now we'll see what happens when they put them all into the pits here, and all under the headlights here. Looks like we're going to get Dalton in there, Dayton Taylor. Looks like everybody's going into the pits here. What will they decide to change up? What will they decide to throw out on the track here? That is going to be a very, very critical eye here. Pit stops wise, Sammy Rell throwing a whole lot of strategy in that one. Made a big move and a big jump that'll take him to the race lead. Tyler Dalton coming out second. Dayton Taylor going to get out third. That could throw a bit of a wrench into a lot of guys' plans right now. Charles Van Schuyck going to go into the fourth spot here, and it looks like that fifth spot's going to go to Christoph Hall. So Sammy Rell right now, oh boy, Sammy, I don't know what you're doing, buddy. I don't know what your plan is. All I can say is, I just hope you know what you're doing here, sir. Momentum starting to run in deep, starting to run through quick. A lot of guys right now probably spotting their position, spotting their area of coverage. They're almost halfway done with this race. And now knowing that that fuel run is going to take a bit of a headache and a bit of a little shot in the dark, it's going to make things even more difficult than ever before. 1 lap to go has marked us down, and we are now ready as can be for what could be another wild showcase here coming up. Bit of an interesting strategy here for Samuel Arakum, moving on the outside lane this time. We saw earlier with Hudson, he decided to go to the inside lane, and that looked like to me was a little bit of a better strategy, but perhaps maybe not in this case. Maybe he's thinking long haul wise. Maybe this is the time to kind of work out some things here. Here we go now. Big opportunity setting in. Also, just a quick reminder, we do have another broadcast coming up to you tomorrow night as we present to you the Porsche Cup Challenge. They will be rolling out on the track. We'll be seeing them back on the show. The world events to everyone as we get a green flag back out. We are now in the final stage. Winner take all for this one to get to the round of 4. Sammy already taking full control. Got a good jump. Got a good start. But again, good start's not the finish. He knows it too. He's going to have to continue to really pull his way back and try to hold the speed up. Yeah, hope for the best. Up a little bit right now. Charles Van Schaik probably looking at a little bit of an opening, a little bit of a gap to kind of work around with Sam Murrell there. And I gotta believe right now Charles too, throughout this race, has been pretty adamant about what he wanted to do, what he wanted to bring to the table, but I don't think he was too focused on winning the race. I think he was more focused on just trying to prove that he still has it, still has that talent that's been able to get him through for most of this season's around. Coming back around the gas right now, Dayton Taylor now moving into the 4th spot here. Everyone behind just trying to stick with it. I would show more of what we got going on in the back. Unfortunately, it's just kind of hard with the way the system's been. And also trying to show what I'm up to here. I wish I could show you guys how much harder it is to work with this kind of system, man. It is a lot more tricky, and inevitably I can figure it out, but man, there's so much more to do. I promise you, we're going to get this one in. We're going to get it all dialed up and taken care of for you guys today. Trolling around right now, the number 44, Christoph Hall. Keeping his pace up with Scott Simley there right behind him as well. With, of course, the little old friend of theirs in the Reign of Terror. Our dog not giving him any time to breathe or any time to think about it, just more or less focusing in on what matters most, and that is the key aspect, the key role of this kind of racing. Currently I'm still being attacked by a cat on this broadcast channel. At this point, I think we might need to turn this into the KTM Racing Cat TV channel. This is the best way I can explain it. Doy Woods, look at this, making some big moves here. Dalton, he gave up 2 positions. Not something you see out of him there. Reese Burnett and Doy Woods making full use of it. I don't know about that one. That one's a little weird, though, to see just kind of how hard he rolled that corner off. But, man, he can get all of it there. Pacing their way now through the gaps. Looks like up ahead right now, Sturgill also playing a little bit of spoiler here. Halfway done, and now Samuel trying to hang in there, trying to bolster up the momentum, trying to hang in just enough to get him down. Joe Hudson now down the inside. He's got to look, he's got to seam, he's got to read. And he wants to take it in with more momentum. So 47 laps now need to be completed on this track. Nobody is safe from this. All Hendricks down on what you can bring to the table, what you can bring onto the track and showcase today. Shike now going head-to-head here with Dayton Taylor. As Taylor taking the race lead away. Remember, if Taylor wins this race too, he gets himself out of the bubble line, out of that bottom spots, and that's going to put him in the top spot as well. I think more than anything, he's honestly looking at that as his go-to. You think about it too, you get that win, and you put yourself in contention. You're not only sending a message to everyone out there that you're in the championship race, but in my opinion, you're also making a little bit more of an uneasy feeling for drivers knowing you can have a full week to yourself. The only thing you gotta do is just go out there and just practice, practice, practice. Like we saw with that 19 there. And I personally think that was what made him that much faster, that much tougher, and went out that much easier in that kind of racing ordeal. Going back down around now the trackside here, the 44 Christoph Hall, the Old Spice having a little bit of company down there with the 7 of Scott Sidley coming up to him. You can see the rear end just slightly kicking out, but then straighten it back up as quick as he possibly could. Paul knew that he was up on the binders, up in the fight, just trying to deal with it. Coming up close, coming up down to the inside, looking for a spot on the shot line here. Hall trying to get more points. Needs a big point stay, needs a little bit of help if he wants any chance to get into that round of 4. And he's going to send it down to the inside. Big move off. Hall looking for it. Still right there with him, though. Is going to try to drive up a little harder there. Dit's backed off a bit there. Scott Sidley making him pretty much work for it right in the mix. Tough little shot there in the dark to have to go for. Meanwhile, up ahead, we forgot all about a little battle going on. That's between Dayton Taylor and Charles Van Schaik. Shike literally just making the rounds on the straightaway there. He had all the momentum he needed. He had all the power he had to get. And not only did he finish the 45 off, he may have just cost him a chance at getting into the playoff, the final round. Going for his first championship hunt race. Kind of weird to see how far Tyler Dalton has fallen back here. The reign of terror is so far back. Same with Sam Morrell and Philip Schmitz. Both those guys so into the field, deep out of the run. Dakota Kramer looks like he's out of this race today. Nothing you can do about that. It's just part of the deal. Charles holding the race lead away. Dayton Taylor just trying to get anything he can up to him there, looking for maybe any kind of little extra give, any little extra speed. Samuel Harrell making a little bit of a charge back, but he still is not quite out of that pack yet. They'll just try to make a move off on that number 8 there, Maurice Burnett, but easier said than done. I mean, you literally got somebody that's blinking in and out like that too, and the Glitchcrafter Gremlins want to take their soul with it. But it opens up so much opportunity as well for guys like the 18 of Philip Schmitz to make their chum back here, make a little bit of drive down as well with that 18. Whoa! A lot of smoke coming down off that wall there and a lot of burrowing there. I don't know where the heck that came from. I think that might have came from the number 8 there, Burnett. I could have been the only guy that saw that there. That looked like something just got shot out of a cannon and broke out completely, and a whole bunch of spades and little flash smoke, if you will. Burnett's still up ahead here. Samuel Harrell right now. Philip Schmitz as well as Tyler Dalton. As the laps wind down. More as they go. Harrell right now looking on. Maybe trying to find a little bit of an extra speed boost here, a little bit extra gap. Remember though, these drivers are going to have to go to pit road eventually here, and that could reflect on what will take them in from the pit stop and into the fuel run. Running it back down right now. Looks like a big battle going on here in the top 5. It's Cody Sturgill looking for his 3rd place spot. Has to deal with the ever elusive and troublesome Scott Simley. Dayton Taylor still right there with Van Schijk, but Van Schijk continues to hold him back right now, just trying to force him into a draft spot zone and a little bit of area to cover it from. Heineken number 7 of Simley right now holding the Hines 15 of Hudson in the inside, but it's Hudson making the move, making the mark, and takes the run off from the gap. Cody Sturgill trying to bolster him back up a little bit, looking to try to hang in there. A slip up there, Hudson. Woo, boy, that's a crossover if I ever saw one. Those two were pretty much right on the nose there. Christoph Hall looking to make a little drive-by, fuel a little pass-off on the 7. Can't quite get there to it just yet, but there is the maneuver off. Just like that, Christoph Hall just making good work, good use here when he needs to. Putting all that pressure, putting all that speed and momentum where he needed it, and now where he's got to. So Simley and now Hall looking to just kind of get a little further out from each other here, but neither one wants to get away from the back. They want to get away from the front, and not exactly working out in their favor in that case here. Giles Van Schaik still leading him down with Dayton Taylor right behind him here. He's keeping his cool, keeping his pressure on. Top 10 right now looking like this. Schaik, Taylor, Sturgill, Hudson, Hall, Simley, Woods, and still trying to get the other three out of the way here. Burnett, Schmitz, and Harrell. Not exactly the gap I was expecting there, to say the least. Lulling them off and reeling them in. Looks like now it's a big move here for the 44, as he now has to try to drive the outside lane there ahead of the 7. And Simley knows if he can get that corner to roll off a little bit better, he may be able to actually take him down a few notches. But Hall, you can see straight around the corner of the exit. The speed comes from the exit there, that turn, and that screws up everything Simley was working so hard to keep up with. Moving it around the chains a little bit. Looks like Doy Woods, also the number 66, not having too much issues there. Keeping his speed up, keeping his drive off there. Looking closely at the 44. His run, his tame, his speed, his momentum to cook with. Certainly can't be too inconsiderate to all over the place. Knows he's going to have to kind of just roll down the turns more and just kind of keep power up. And Simley looks like he'll be one of the first guys to head to pit road. He slammed the brakes down though. You can just tell he was trying to focus in quickly there. Taylor right now pulling off a little bit, trying to fight it up a bit or two. He knows that Charles Van Schaik is currently looking just to kind of put him away, and he does not want that to happen. He doesn't want to let it happen. A lot of guys right now looking maybe carefully at that strategy and at that spot they're looking in right now. Probably just hoping to pray that this will work out okay. Or maybe it might not. It's hard to say, really. A little onboard camera here. This is with Philip Schmitz, number 18. Again, we'll look carefully at like how he rolls the corners. Look at how he comes off those exits. It's just extremely smooth and conservative. It's not necessarily fast though in conservative nature. It's more or less just kind of picking the pace, ticking them off, and let them tick themselves out. He hasn't really made any mistakes in this race, honestly. But unfortunately for him, it's not also been extremely exciting to make it to where he's going. He's just kind of pretty much kind of letting them all hang out there. Boy, Woods making a big pass there in turn number 1. Shot him up pretty good there, had everything he needed to. It looked like he was just kind of sending back a few paces again. I also will say real quick, guys, if you may hear me sound a little bit off, I have to remind you guys at home that I'm currently 2.5 hours ahead of my time zone, so it's a little bit late right now. Currently it's 11:12 p.m., so yeah, if I sound a little tired, I apologize in advance. But thankfully tomorrow will be a little bit easier. It's going to be a lot quicker. It's going to be a lot earlier and a little bit more on my usual time gap. So, hey, they didn't say this business was easy. That's for sure. Which I am not going to complain there. It is not easy, and nor Would I want it to be easy? If it were easy, everyone could do it. That's not something I don't think makes broadcasting special after that point. See Doy Woods right now moved into the third spot here. Christoph Hall right behind him. Just keeping his pressure on. As Doy now admits he's got to go to pit road here, get some fuel and some tires up on that strategy. That bad boy going to get himself nice and squared in. Christoph Hall, the 44, just continuing to stay out. Charles Van Schaik here leading the gap up by about a good full second and some odd change. Hasn't really let up in terms of his position or in terms of his scope. And now after a little bit, Cody Sturgill going to follow behind him with only 30 laps to go. A very interesting little spot here. And Christoph Hall going to the pit road as well. Tyler Dalton going to lay it out longer than everyone else. So this is now where he's looking to push his pressure to. Dalton looks like he may be slowing down a little bit here currently. It looks like he may... Well, I'd take it back. Actually, he's already been to pit road. Never mind. I'd completely trace that out a little bit. So he's been in pit road. And, well, yeah. Actually, no, he wasn't. Okay, okay, I apologize in advance. I'm so confused. Now, he hasn't been to pit road yet that I'm seeing. But he is going to take the race lead away. He leads from Charles Van Schaik. Alan Weil going to try to catch up there with him. Van Schaik about 30 seconds back right now, looking to try to get that speed up on him quickly here, but it's going to be very, very tricky considering how long he's going to have to catch up to him there. Joe Hudson now Wild here. They are all right ahead of the curbing here. This is probably when you don't got your big live timing sheets and everything. You always now you have to try to adjust on the fly with what they're seeing on just this little timer stand board in the standings. Yeah, this is really what I'm looking at right now too, guys. That's the only thing I have to my name that I can even see where we're at and what's going on. And Wild now heads to the pits and puts it into the pit road. Dalton's staying out. Doesn't want nothing to do with him except just take control of his own race. That's where I warrior a little bit, check. So he was kind of pounded back up a little bit here. Christoph Hall, the 44, right ahead here of the 24, Cody Sturgill. Sturgill's just looking to kind of get last put away and the time's down on the gas here. Dalton has still not been to pit road yet. I cannot imagine for 1 second that is going to work out perfectly in his favor. But I can believe that he is still looking on pretty carefully here with what he's doing, what he's trying to bring to the table. Gaps peeled away a little bit, further stretching out even more as we go. Nothing really they can do about it. Ron Holyfield, guys like him right now, just kind of just lingering in the speeds and just building the pace and do whatever he can. He's also got a bit of a strategy, kind of tag along. He's using a little bit of the fuel strategy there. Save as much as he can, hope for the best. Not a bad idea, but any means if it works, it works. But that's the toughest part. Can you get it to work? Scott Simley right now holding right behind on that number 45 here of Dayton Taylor. Nothing they can really kind of holster out off, and nothing they can really take back from. One thing they can do is just make it work. Dayton Taylor right now currently keeping up pace with Scott Simley, but this is your true battle for the third spot right now. Hudson roughly a good amount of seconds ahead, and now Dalton has finally gotten himself into pit road. So now instead of third, it's now a battle for second here, and maybe even more importantly for Dayton Taylor, it's a battle of consequences and sequential situations. Dayton and Simley right now, they are currently just right in their own little wheelhouse, their own little spots. Joe Hudson, though, I gotta believe right now probably feels like a kid at candy store, knowing that he is currently possibly looking at finally ending a long streak of not being in the top spot. Got a little bit loose there from that tunnel turn. You can see he was able to reel it in quickly and nicely and safely. Meanwhile, back in the pack right now, Cody Sturgill here just trying to hold back the number 15, Joe Hudson. Knows he could be in a little bit of a mix-up here. .22 laps remaining here. Time running out here as Hudson still leads the field in. And he is trying everything he's got and everything he has to do just to keep Simley, to keep Dayton back behind him and right in where he wants to be. So Hudson right now your leader here. Simley, Dayton Taylor mixed in between there. Charles Van Schaik currently holding in the 4th spot right now. Further along right now in the top 10. Philip Schmidt's way back in the pack there. Tyler Dalton also in the troublesome spot here. He did get stage points though. That will help him, but I don't know if it necessarily is going to make much of a difference here for him and his team. I think the problem with it again is just the fact of you have to take every little detail and every little move around here and know how much it can really work off you there. Laps left right now here. It looks like Simley maybe starting to reel in a little bit of ground there on Hudson. You can see him cupping up close there to Maurice Burnett, trying to fill it off any little speed he can, helping the spot he can in the track. Now moving in the race lead. Hudson back into pit road here, and very interesting little strategy points there. Wasn't expecting another pit stop there, but looks like I might have done the wrong timing on my my counter here. That is a major move off and a very tough little ordeal to see what they can do. And it looks like now even Simley going to pit road. Looks like Sturgill to pits. Doy Woods currently now your race leader. So now a little bit of momentum changing, a little momentum shifting now through these drivers and through this field. So everybody looks on carefully. Sturgill, Christoph Hall now back into another set here. This is a very long lasting little ride here for him. Sturgill and Hall, pit stop sides here for them. Doy Woods, well, let's just say he wants to try to play a little bit of a different game here with them. Laps left to go. It's all about who makes it or who breaks it. Nothing you can do except just make a run for it down to the edge. So Dwight Woods now to pit road here. Philip Schmitz. He's the one that's now going to take a little bit of a longer run here. And it looks like he'll have the old Reign of Terror behind him, trying to make that match up with him. I mean, right now, if I'm Philip Schmitz here, my focus is definitely to get as far as I can along with this ride and this drive here. But again, with Tyler Dalton lingering around back there too, it probably doesn't help or hurt. Probably more so hurts him than anything. Just imagining what kind of deal this must have been like here. Dalton just looking to push everything he's got and everything in between. Dalton, I gotta believe right now, probably just trying to eye any kind of position or any kind of course he can get ahead of and stay right in the position he needs to be in. Again, though, the strategy's currently looking more favorable for Hudson because, again, Dalton has to go to pit road. But when he does, will it be enough? Eleven laps left right now on the clock here. The 19 Dalton, your race leader. Looking more and more like he's going to take this one to the bank. Top three drivers will talk to us at the end of this race today. Dalton looks like he's pretty much got a clear-cut picture. The downside, though, is it's not enough without that caution to pop out for him. He needs any little help he can get. I mean, right now, is he going to try to do the extreme long run fuel save? I wonder if that is what he's going to go for. I mean, it's not a bad idea by any means, but I don't know if it's going to work as we go on board with him. Yeah, he's definitely saving fuel. He's going to try it. I mean, I don't blame him for trying it, but the problem is I just don't think it's going to work. I mean, it could, but he certainly is not making it easy on himself. Hudson went in the right time, put it into the parking spot where he needed to, and now he's just hoping to catch either based off of speed or based off of strategy alone. That 19 is not exactly out of the woods yet. Nine laps ready to go right now here currently as the field continues to move further and further along, and that is what really was our biggest concern, was how was everyone going to be able to match the speed, the tempo, the power you need to do just to kind of keep in these kind of races, these kind of ordeals. Charles Van Schaik now figuring that out as well. Doy Woods right now trying to get ahead there of Alan Wild. The Wild man currently fights him off there in the last couple laps. 7 laps now remain here for Dalton. And the speed and endurance here these guys are facing up against, just really starting to hone its spot, trying to hurt them off as much as they can. So now fully 7 laps to go. There, Dalton finally get himself across the line there. He probably is wondering, well, hey, wasn't exactly 7th there yet, my friend. Dalton, I'm just watching as you go, sir. You've been pretty much the one thing that has been absolutely impressive to me in terms of trying to take it up a few notches. So we'll see how that plays out. Seven now turning to 6 laps left to go. Time now starting to space up a bit here. Dalton knows that he's got so much on the line, so much up for grabs here. He's just trying to hang in there as much as he possibly can. Joe Hudson doing pretty much what he can to catch him before it's too little too late. Hudson now 14 seconds back. Was originally about 17 or 16 to 18. But he has managed to scratch and claw his way into this mess and into this mix-up. But the Reign of Terror, with only 5 laps to go, still has the race lead, and he's looking to finally put this one to rest. Can he get it done here? If he can, he's not only going to punch his way into the championship race, but he's also going to get another message sent out. This will be his time. This will be his opportunity, his golden ticket. Dave Taylor right now dealing with Doy Woods there right in the mix in the background there. Doy probably still thinking about what happened earlier on between him and I believe it was 15 there of Hudson. There on the front stretch, on the back stretch of turn 1, I should say. Rolled him down on that straightaway and then just kind of pile driving the corner off. Got him right in the mix up. Taylor, whoa, holding up there a little bit. He almost got completely whacked by that 66. Looked like he ended up losing the corner there, and he was losing some drive off. Not sure exactly what went wrong or what did he do there, but it almost sent him vanishing to the shadow realm. That could have been very dangerous and a nasty little situation. Thankfully recovered from it, but man, that was a wicked little spot there if I ever saw one. Dalton is going to truly go for this long run, guys, and if he gets it to work, let's just say it's going to be a lot more difficult to take him down in Phoenix, in my opinion. He just seems to have been finally putting it all together and figuring it out. All now with only 2 laps left to go. His master plan is in fruition. He just needs to get it to the white flag. Can he get it there and get it done? All eyes are on that 19 right now. He has put everything together for this entire race. He's looking just to finish out on a high note and out on the best note. The 7519 has saved enough to go for this lap right here. Ladies and gentlemen, rolling for turn number 3 down to that front straightaway. Dalton will give us the white flag lap presented in part by Global Strategy Team. Final lap shootout time. Dalton just needs to get it there, get this one put underway and finished out on the best of notes and the best of positions. Knows that he worked so hard to get to here. And now, just like that, Dalton has all but punched his way into a championship round contention once again. Through turn number 3, it's safe to say Tyler Dalton is going to be a favorite for that championship run, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to get it to the round of 4. Your winner, Pocono, Tyler Dalton. What a performance. Well, once again, he pretty much figured out the perfect strategy. Got some redemption here at Pocono for the trucks race. And now, I think more than ever, he's got a good grasp on life and a good grasp on what he's going to bring to his table. Joe Hudson going to go home second. Charles Van Schuyck going to bring home third. Top 5. And then similarly, Doy Wood's going to go into there. So now the playoff picture going to look a little bit different. But the next time we do see Dalton, for sure, it will be without any mercy or any other issues to worry about. Because that 19 parking it into victory lane tells you all you need to know. An impressive performance throughout, an impressive drive out from point A to point B. And time for a little celebration from the old 19 as, well, I guess he ran out of fuel anyway. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Well, we're going to wait for our top 3 drivers to come talk with us real quick here, and then we're going to call it a night here and get the photos posted up. Ladies and gentlemen, though, has it been a show today? Has it been something? This was truly a very, very interesting race in its own right. An interesting little battle out from point A to point B. Let's listen into the top drivers now. Tyler Dalton, your race winner today at Pocono, going to join us here real quick. And Dalton, man, once more, sir, You find a way to put it all on the spot and all on the line, and now a little redemption from the truck race. You win it here at Pocono. What does it feel like to get to that round of 4 again, buddy?
Honestly, it sort of sucks. Didn't feel like I deserved that win because I was responsible for the decision to lengthen the last stage because going in, looking at practice, looked like there was, it was going to be borderline of whether or not you could one stop the last stage. And we were trying to calculate the fuel mileage and stuff, and we were trying to lengthen on the last stage so you couldn't one stop it. And obviously, I ended up one stopping it there at the end. The last caution there at the last stage break was longer than I think any of us thought it was going to be, and we went back green later than expected, and in that situation, I took tires at the first stage break, so I sort of made my bed as far as I was going to either have to come in and take a splash and then take tires, but it wasn't until we literally went green on the last stage I looked and saw that it was only going to be 52 laps, and I knew that was unfortunately doable. And I'm sure I'm going to catch a lot of flack for that, but I don't know. It's a bittersweet win because I know a lot of people are pissed off, but I hope no one thinks that I did that on purpose.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a win's a win. You had to still go out there and you still had to put everything on the table, put it out on the track. I know Hudson and Van Schaik were trying to catch you a few times. You had a good little battle there in the back with Taylor and it looked like Sturgill as well as Simley for a while. I mean, I believe the drivers are still as race ready and race hot as they were. Anything to do with you guys today, weren't they?
Yeah, I thought I had the speed to actually win it normally, but then when everybody on that first stage, pretty much everybody didn't take tires, I thought I was sort of a sit duck there because we were going to have to pit twice in the last stage, and everybody was going to take tires both on both of these stages, and then that was going to kill me. And then at the end, I sort of started the last stage with the mindset, okay, I'm going to try to save enough fuel until I can just take one can of fuel when I have to stop for the second time and just take 2 tires. And that's when I realized that you could do it on one stop. And it's disappointing, but that's the way it is. And hopefully I'll talk with the guys later and they'll understand that that wasn't something I went into trying to deceive anyone. So.
What the fuck are you talking about? You wash up damn fucking gas tank.
Alright. I don't think the editors are going to get that one out, but nevertheless, though, at least Dalton, I guess, who do you want to thank her for this winning today, bud?
Yeah, I just want to thank all the Sim 500 Mafia guys. Great teammates, great run for Joe there, and we'll see if we can get him there at Phoenix.
Well, I guess all I can say to you, bud, is good luck at Phoenix, and we'll see you at Auto Club next week. But nevertheless, congratulations, Dalton, at least on the win. Joe Hudson coming away second today. Hudson, I know it's a little bittersweet. You had obviously a very good strategy too. Put up a lot of a performance there, but that that last bit there, man, it looked like it was giving you a lot of tights and a lot of tempers there, buddy. Joe, you got a copy down there?
Yeah, you got me?
There we go. Hey, we got you, buddy.
Oh, yeah, man. It was just nice to be competitive for a change. Tyler's tough. All these guys are really tough, and to be able to be in a position, win that first stage, pretty much on the out. It wasn't Talladega, it wasn't a draft, anything like that. I hate I got together there with Doy on that in that second stage. I'm not sure what happened, but anyway, congratulations to Tyler. He figured it out. I just didn't think there was no way anybody could make it, and I said it's hard to be happy with second, but hard to be upset when you are that competitive.
Absolutely there. Well, I mean, Joe, still, obviously, I know he obviously didn't quite have a playoff run the way you were hoping for, but I got to believe playing a little bit of spoiler there in that first stage definitely got to make it feel a little bit more happy, a little more interested in trying to give these guys something to think about for the future, right?
You know, anytime they drop that green, everybody's out there for one reason, and that's to do the best they can do. And you don't want to mess anybody up that's running for points. But big wide track like Pocono, not that big a field. Didn't expect a lot of caution, so doggone it, I'm still looking to get the first one. Maybe I'll get one here sooner or later. Congratulations, so to Tyler and all our 7500 guys. Tyler's a big help to all of us with setups and strategy. And Ron Holofield had a good run tonight. Thank you guys for broadcasting, and I guess we'll try it again.
Hudson, eventually it's got to come to you, buddy. Congratulations taking it on home, though, for second place today.
Hey, thank you for all you do, and thanks to Charles and Goad. And, you know, I wish we could get a few more guys out here. It's a fun series. Everybody races really, really good, and we'll just keep digging.
Keep digging. I think we'll get to it eventually. Nevertheless, congratulations, Hudson, on everything today, buddy.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Hudson taking it home for a second place finish today, and that will pretty much about do it for your coverage today, ladies and gentlemen. So, big thank you to everybody for tuning on in, and thank you all that showed up on the track here. Fans and friends alike, it's been a fun one. We'll catch you next time when the green flag flies on P10 Racing TV.